Welcome to Tips for Gamers. Today we're going to be talking about quarterback ratings just released by Madden. We're also going to show our predictions and how close we got to them with the rookie quarterbacks. So yeah, let's jump into it. This is fun. We've been waiting for this one. This is really fun. I think that they got this right on the top three quarterbacks, who the best top three are. I think it's Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers, Patrick Mahomes. I think that the number they exactly chose was wrong. I think that there is a 99 overall quarterback. I think it is Tom Brady. It's like every other year they want to hate on Tom Brady and Aaron Rodgers and go, hey, because you're old or whatever reason they do it for. They just seem to always do it for old quarterbacks or aging quarterbacks, and they always get proved wrong. They're always trying to say, well, Tom Brady's not in the top three. I mean, Lamar was better than him. That's what they were saying. When did that ever happen? When did Lamar Jackson, because I kept watching with my eyes, watching each game that Madden was watching, and I never saw that Lamar Jackson was better than Tom Brady. Never. Just never occurred to me that I'd rather have other guys than Tom Brady in crunch time. I mean, it just doesn't make sense. I think he's a 99 overall. I think you can take Aaron Rodgers. I think you can make him an 88. I think you could make Patrick Mahomes an 88. I'd have no problem with that. I think you can make Aaron Rodgers an 88 and Patrick Mahomes a 97. We'll also see how well Patrick Mahomes does this year without Tyreek Hill. I think people, really need to take that into consideration. If he does just as good without Tyreek Hill, well, I think that proved that he's even better than what we initially thought. So there's that, but I wouldn't have an issue. I think these guys are the top three. I think Josh Allen's get robbed here. I think he's more of a 95. Let us know also, guys, what you think about these. I think he's more of a 95. I don't see him as 3-point difference to Patrick Mahomes. I just don't. I think maybe certain times of the year that can happen, but for the most part, I think Josh Allen's established that. I mean, he's a good quarterback. He is a really good quarterback, and he's a quarterback that a lot of these teams wish they could have drafted. And he was there, too, for a lot of teams to draft, and they didn't draft him. I think Joe Burrow is getting the respect that he deserves to a degree, because I think, him beating the Chiefs twice last year, once to get to the actual Sizbiz, and then he had a chance to win the Sizbiz. He gets sacked 500 times against the Tennessee Titans, their own home field, with home field advantage, and he still comes out and helps the Bengals win. I mean, Joe Burrow's he's a dog, and they got a terrible offensive line, and he's done really well. So you got Dak Prescott, who Dak Prescott is good. There's no question about it, but Dak Prescott has not gotten to that point where he is they're like, wow, he is the elite. He's an elite guy. I know we've had people before in our comments saying, no, he's elite. I don't see that Dak Prescott's elite. I'm not saying he's terrible. I'm not even saying he's normal. I'm just saying I don't see elite status here, because I think Russell Wilson, I think Matthew Stafford are better than Dak Prescott. I think Matthew Stafford and Russell Wilson are better than Justin Herbert and Lamar Jackson, and I think they're right up there with Joe Burrow. So I just don't really understand this on kind of their thought process here, that Dak Prescott is the surefire, top 6 dude. I don't see it. I think Justin Herbert has a lot to prove this year. Whether or not he's the actual franchise quarterback, if he doesn't do well this year and win in that tough division, and win big games, I think it's going to be tough for him to, people are going to start questioning him more and more and more, because right now they have a high expectation, but they don't have high proof that, well, he's meeting those expectations. Okay, and I know some people will disagree, but show me where he's proved it. I mean, legitimately, without question. Lamar Jackson's finally coming to realization that he is just not that accurate. I mean, I hate to say it. People wanted to crown him as the top 3 quarterbacks, that it's going to be him and Lamar fighting, or him and Patrick Mahomes fighting each other for Super Bowls every other. That never happened, and it's just good luck happening, because his accuracy is just not there. And teams have started to figure him out ever since the Tennessee game multiple years ago, where Tennessee stopped him to move on in the playoffs. And after that, it was like, are they dominating? And then they're going to the playoffs, and they're not doing that. So Lamar Jackson has a lot to prove, and I think Madden loves to just crown these other guys. Whoever's an upcoming guy, they want to crown them, because they're willing to say, hey, Russell Wilson and Matthew Stafford aren't very good. And it just kind of doesn't make sense to me. So for Deshaun Watson will probably jump his overall up whenever he can play. With there's all this stuff going on with him. With Kyler Murray here, that is This is a bold statement by EA. I mean, it really is a bold statement, and I can see people getting extremely mad at this and saying, well, that's not true, but is it? I mean, how wrong are they? Kyler Murray is, amazing at quarterback. But just because you're amazing in certain regards doesn't mean that you have everything it takes to win. And it doesn't matter what you did in week 3. It doesn't matter what you did in week 4. It doesn't matter what you did in week 6. It matters what you did in the last few weeks of the season. It matters where you placed. Are you a Super Bowl contender or not? And with him just getting that massive contract that he got, he made a very bold statement that I'm the guy. I'm just as good as Aaron Rodgers. I'm just as good as Patrick Mahomes. I'm just as good as all these other guys. I'm just as good. So you need to win just as much as those other guys. And you need to win with the talent you have. Period. People can't give him an excuse and say, well, you don't have D-Hop, because of this or because, they don't have a tie. That doesn't stop Aaron Rodgers from constantly competing and being MVP candidate and all of the, it doesn't stop him. It doesn't stop Tom Brady from, it's hard to compare to Tom Brady, but Tom Brady's winning all the time. And half the time you don't even know which wide receivers he's going to throw to. You have no idea. One year it's this guy, next year it's that guy. This guy's a Pro Bowl, and all of a sudden that guy's a Pro Bowl, gets traded for 5 first-round picks. Then he ends up not doing too well. I mean, so you made a statement. You need to get paid, and you need to also now prove it. Because if you don't prove it, that you're that guy, and this is true, this is a true rating, which I don't think Madden's too far off of, then, yeah, I mean, you're a very highly paid, good player, not great player. Derek Carr, Ryan Tannehill, nothing you can do. You cannot. You guys are doomed. EA has it out for Kirk Cousins, Matt Ryan, Ryan Tannehill, and Derek Carr. I mean, even if they throw for a lot of yards in the season, it's not going to matter. It's not going to change the way EA thinks of you. Okay, I think Derek Carr is like an 86. I don't see an 83. I don't see that Ryan Tannehill's an 83. People would disagree and say, well, Ryan Tannehill ruined it for the Titans last year. Bullcrap. He didn't. If we actually watched the game live, we went there and watched it live. The offensive coordinator completely went against what got them there in the first place. You had Deontay Foreman, who was just crushing dudes in the run game. And then instead of just sticking with him and winning the game, and he was getting 15 yards of carry in that game, no, we're going to go with King Henry and try to make this comeback. King Henry, even though he hasn't played in forever, and he just came off this, nasty injury, and now we're going to put him in, and Henry had no success compared to Foreman, and so it just made no sense. I mean, you put Ryan Tannehill in a crappy situation to begin with. You called, terrible plays. The plays were so obvious and stupid that the Titans were screwed no matter who they had at quarterback, so it didn't make sense. But these guys are all doomed. Nothing you can do. I mean, you have to have a massive season. They're going to bump you up the minute you throw your first 2 interceptions. You're going back down. So good luck to Kirk Cousins, Matt Ryan. It doesn't even matter what we think their overall is because it'll be that way for a week. And then EA is going to just crush the party. Because I don't think Kirk Cousins is an 80 overall. I don't think Matt Ryan's an 81, Ryan Tannehill an 83, or Derek Carr's an 83. I think you're all talking about, maybe 85 here, 84, 88 to an 86. And I think Derek Carr is right around that. He's an 86. I don't think he's better than Ryan Tannehill, but I think he's close enough. Mac Jones, good luck, man. They're coming after you. They're like, he's okay. And that's what they're doing. So Mac Jones has got a lot to prove, and he does. I mean, rightfully so too. But other guys that don't have a lot to prove, they're going to rank him higher. But they're going to be really staring at Mac Jones and being like, ooh, is he really that good? I think he's more of an 82, to be honest. Baker Mayfield, I see him as an 80 to an 81, possibly an 82. I don't really think Mac Jones is that much better than him. I don't think, I don't know. I have a hard time seeing. I don't know why he got this overall. Was it last year? Because he just wasn't, dominant. Well, he was injured, and he still balled out for being injured. And it was a horrific injury. So, I mean, the dude was playing with his arm basically out of the socket. And then what happens? He gets injured again on the same shoulder, and it basically just extends. I mean, it was so nasty against the Cardinals. That was disgusting. And then he comes back the next week. The guy is a beast. You got to give him a little bit more respect than a 77. I don't see it. Jimmy G, You're looking at a 77. It's hard to disagree with, but I think a 78. Jameis Winston, that is what a tough overall to grade there. So EA, I feel for you on that. Trevor Lawrence, 76. Ugh. They're just like, nope, not that good. EA, man, you're making some bold statements here. I mean, some of these guys, Jalen Hurts, you're like, yeah, don't get us confused, Jalen. You're not that great. Justin Fields, a 74. Carson Wentz, dropping. Zach Wilson, dropping. Jared Goff, I don't know. Ooh, Davis Mills getting some love. That is funny. He's a beast. He was a highly ranked guy coming into college and then playing for Stanford. Nasty injury too and all that stuff. And coming back, Marcus Mariota, 71 overall. And this is actually crazy because they got the numbers completely off compared to what I thought that they would be for quarterbacks. This is actually crazy. You got Mitchell Trubisky at a 69. I don't have an issue with this. This is funny because Malik Willis, we had from a 66 overall to a 70 overall. We graded him that Madden's probably going to give him a 70. He was actually a 69, so we were close there. Desmond Ridder, this is hilarious. We got him perfectly on the dot. 67 overall to a 71 overall. We chose the 70 overall for Desmond Ridder, and we got it correct. Look at this. I think he's going to be a dang good sleeper, but I knew they were going to bump these numbers, and I knew they were going to give him that throw power, so he's the sleeper. It's pretty simple. He's the sleeper, but where's Kenny Pickett? I mean, dear Lord, they're just making statements here. Kenny Pickett was chosen in the first round, but where is Kenny Pickett? He's a 68. Oh, we had him listed from a 72 to a 76. We actually believed he was more in this category too. We thought they would probably put him at a 76 just because where he was drafted. Nope, Madden doesn't care. So that's pretty interesting. He's a 68. He's the same as Matt Corral, and we had him as a 68, Matt Corral. We got that correct. So right now we basically have gotten 3 correct. One we were off by 1 point out of that. So, really close with the 70 overall for Willis. He's actually a 69. So Bailey, I want to see Bailey Zappy, or however you say his name. Where are you at, Bailey? Where is Bailey at? Oh boy, there he is. Look at him go. I don't think that this is right at all. We had him from a 64 to a 67. That's what we had. He's a 63. So yeah, he's below our lowest, but I gotta say, this guy's a beast. I think this guy could actually be a beast. I mean, he's really, really talented. Whether he pans out to be that way, you never know. But, yeah, interesting stuff here. Let us know what you guys think.
High ambitions in the right mind can take you so far. It's like you lived a few lifetimes.